friends, brothers and sisters, and all my saints and subs. Sergeant OCD here on this beautiful spring day. It's supposed to rain this afternoon. It was cold this morning, so my shop is kind of cold, so figured I'd fire it up, start a fire, and make some salve while I'm at it. Anytime I start a fire in here, I just kind of put the ingredients on to heat up. So today is about procrastination. So my son moved out probably 4 years ago, but he lives in another, like right across the border, but he kind of uses our house as kind of a base camp. So my wife still does his work clothes, and he's got shoes laying all over the place. Well, it's getting kind of crazy because now instead of just laying here and there, we have piles of shoes in the mudroom, which doubles as our laundry room. So I've been thinking about making a shoe rack or buying a shoe rack, and I can't find one at the dimensions I need. So I figured I'd make it. Now, the shoe rack I want is probably $40, and it's, too long. But I just went and spent $60 on wood, but actually less than that. But I'm not using all the wood, so this is probably a $40 shoe rack. I've been thinking it out in my head all week, and I have a drawing somewhere. So it's gonna be, here's the tray. Now you know those boot trays, so it's gonna be around that. So I've got to go grab one of them, and then it'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 shelves. So you'll be able to put shoes on this, here, here, and here. So basically 12 pairs of shoes. Oddly enough, that room has that many of them. And then I'm going to put a tray up top for gloves and hats to dry them out. The tray on top was kind of an afterthought. So I have a couple of legs and the slats that go in between and the side pieces. But the reason I want to talk about procrastination is because I've been planning on doing this for 2 years. So the design was very easy in my head, and I just happened to measure this week, and it will fit. So Proverbs 13:4, the soul of a lazy person craves and gets nothing, but the soul of a diligent is richly supplied. So you might not know this, but procrastination is a sin. So this year, since God took me out early for 11 days, put me in the hospital. Now, God didn't do it, my colon did it. But a lot of people will blame God for things like that. I'm 57 years old. My colon gave out. I'm going in Monday to get it fixed, put back together. Everything's clean. All the tests come back positive. So I will get rid of this ostomy bag. But I want to talk to you about the next chapter of Revelation. I'm not done with Revelation, not till we're totally done, because this is what people need to understand what's going to happen here if you do not get caught up with the Lord. So this is the seventh seal. When the Lamb broke the seventh seal on the scroll, there was silence through heaven, about a half an hour. Saw the 7 angels who stood before God, and they were given the 7 trumpets. Okay? This is starting at Revelation 8. Then another angel with a gold incense burner came and stood at the altar, and a greater amount of incense was given to him to mix with the prayers of God's people. as an offering on the gold altar before the throne. The smoke of the incense mixed with the prayers of God's holy people ascended up to God from the altar where the angel had poured them out. Then the angel filled the incense burner with fire from the altar and threw it down upon the earth, and thunder crashed as lightning flashed, and there was a terrible earthquake. Now, they go into the trumpets after this, and we'll pick that up hopefully next week. That verse 6. So anyway, the reason I'm trying to do a lot of these projects today that I don't have to lift, yesterday I've been trying to move, or yesterday I finally got the chicken coop moved. I was trying to move it for 2 weeks, and I have a door and I have a 4-foot jack, and I actually pinned my ring finger up against the top of the jack and the jamb of the door, and it was probably pinned for, well, probably about 5 seconds, but it seemed like it was 2 minutes, but I was able to rock it loose, and then yesterday when I lifted it up to finish the job, because I was lifting it up and moving it, one of the legs gave out and the whole thing just toppled over on its side. Now, when I build something, I build it tough. I guess that's the German in me. So it just toppled on its side. I fixed the leg, brought it back up and moved it into place. Doing this stuff by yourself, you got to understand that, chains and come-alongs are your friends. So anyway, I took the liberty of cutting all this up already, but I want to show you this wood. It comes from Lowe's, and it's all beat up here. So I paid $1.24 for an 8-foot section of this that could or could not use this. Now, I do a lot of projects that require scrap wood, so I don't really worry about it. But, I got some bad stuff from Lowe's before, but it's just getting worse and worse and worse. So, it may be because of the way today's society is, nobody really cares about work, or they have pride in their work. But that's not what this is about. So I wasn't going to bore you with cutting all this. I was going to countersink all these. Now, I have this attachment for my drill, so I could just take the countersink off and put another bit in, or I could take it off completely. And I'm using a DeWalt drill. I don't really care what brand you like. Some are better, some are worse. From my experience, like my batteries on my Milwaukee died, and now my charger for my Milwaukee died. So Milwaukee didn't last as long as DeWalt. Now these are new batteries on DeWalt, so the DeWalt's doing better for me, and that's my opinion. I've used Makitas before, and they seem that they're a lot better, but again, my opinion. So I'm going to use Gorilla Glue, wood glue. I'm going to use, I use decking screws for just about everything, because they seem to be the best screw, and they're T25 Torx, and that's one of the things I like, because have you ever had your Phillips head strip off? That it happens. I hate that. I used to use Phillips all the time until I accidentally got some screws with Torx, and I'm like, hey, I like these. So the way this is going to look is basically we're going to have 2 legs here. These are going to go in between like this, and then these slats are going to hold the boots. But I'm going to put this in a different mode. Probably put my countersink on my drill press and go ahead and countersink some of these after I measure, and we'll go from there. So one thing I didn't really discuss is I haven't sanded any of this, so I've got to run all this, sand every piece. So the way it's going to look is, where's my tape measure? So about 8 inches up, there's going to be a brace. 8 inches up from there, 8 inches up from there. Hey, come back here. 8 inches up from there. Okay. So, and then around the top is where that kind of tray is going to be. So I got to build both of these, and then we'll tie them together with these slats, and these are 29 inches. So I wanted to have roughly 26 inches in between, because my current rack that I have, there is 28 inches in between, but this is going to be smaller. If I have to modify that tray, I will. But that's the way it's going to be. So I'm basically building a ladder, but I've got to sand everything, get all the splinters off of there because of my... All right, by now, you should realize that my year of shop really paid off. Shop class in high school. So I got rid of most of my woodworking equipment. I mean, there was a point where I was making my own trim for the house because it was, you know, over 100 years old. You couldn't get that trim anymore. But I've gotten rid of a lot. And you know, this is a indoor shoe rack. It's in a mud room. So do I really have to make it perfect? No. It does stand up, and that's just with 3 slats here. Imagine how sturdy it's going to be when I do all of them. But you know, I did split one piece right here. That's why you should drill countersink and drill, just to countersinks to flatten the screw off, flatten the screw off so everything's nice and well, flat, even. And then obviously drill to make sure you don't split the wood. I didn't drill into these going into it because I'm going with the grain. Now I'm going against the grain, so I'm probably going to, I haven't seen any of this split, but this, it's so thin. I mean, I'm glad I found these. I was looking for something for, you know, a dollar something a length, and I thought I was going to have to use molding, but man, molding is like in between $3 and $7. Some of them 11. So I'm glad I found this, but I'm gonna go ahead and quickly put this back together. Well, quickly on the screen, and then we're gonna do the top. The top's gonna be pretty cool. Now, I don't mind wood that has some color, where you see the, let's see if I can find it. I had it. I've been mixing this around. But it's got a lot of this, and I'll put that in front because I do like the way it looks. Yeah, I'm going to put basically a border around there, so whenever I have my hats or gloves and stuff, I could just throw them on top and they won't fall back or anything. I did, kind of design this for what I need, so, it's definitely a man's shoe rack. Hopefully my wife won't say, "Make me one." And, women, they don't have 2 pairs of shoes like we do. Well, we used to. All we needed was sneakers and boots, but now have 2-3 pairs of boots and a couple pairs of sneakers, one for running, one for hiking, one for running outside, run for dress sneakers, but none of my sneakers are really dress sneakers. So anywho, let me finish this up and let you guys see. I think this is very cool. I'm very impressed with what it looks like already. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put these up top here on the front, and then here, so I have a place for hat and gloves. I probably only need one on the top, but I'm going to go ahead and do one, double it right here. So I'm going to add up the total and let you guys know at the end of this how much it cost me. I'm also got to sand some of the rough areas and just spray it. I've got a spray I'm going to use. Got to take it outside for that, but it's basically a clear coat because everything else you just need to seal this wood because pine will warp. Pine warps very well. But anyway, let me get to it. So I have cut all my other pieces. I have determined that this is the back because it's got a little rough spot right here. I was going to put these on the outside, but why not put them on the inside? Look at that. So get some of these out of the way. While I was cutting these, this is about 3/8. Yeah, no, it's about a 1/4 inch off. Who cares, but it was fitting real tight. Actually, this one does fit tight, so that's fine with me. But I think I need to get these in. Ooh, can't do that. These have to go on the front. One less lock. No, no, nope, nope. I got an idea. Do it like that. This guy on the front, on top. We could do it that way. Put that one down there, this one up top. I mean, it's not like I need to hold water or anything. So then I don't need one of these of an each. Yeah, I tried to get one of the 3 pieces that I cut off that were bad. I tried to get them to go, but I just couldn't do it. So let's get these glued. So we're gonna glue this here. Yeah, it's nice to warm up the place, and normally I make char cloth, but I got a whole coffee can full of char cloth. So I decided to make some more pain cream, which there's people that always need my pain cream. Mainly my pastor. I don't know how this is going to work, but oh, come on. I thought I had that thing tight. Yeah, I broke the bit when I dropped my drill. There we go. So I broke my bit when I dropped the drill. Happens. And I've had kits and kits and kits. I have a drawer full of drill bits. It's not going to go in right. It's not going to go in right. I'm going to get another bit. So, yeah, I wanted to get this done because the things I have to do or not do, lift. That's off. Dang it. Dang it. I might just leave it glued. If I get to one side. Yeah, I think it'll be alright. Problem is this is so thin that I think I'm just going to glue it because I'm afraid of splitting it with the drill bit or with the drill. Actually, the screw, not the drill. Yeah, I used to really be into woodworking, building things, and I mean, it's not that I still can't do it, you know, or I can't do it now. I'm gonna have to probably tack that down with one of my power tools. But what I wanted to do is go in from the back here on this. I'm over here. this guy at? Or the short ones? Yeah, I need the short ones. Oh. Yeah, I better go through short ones. But anyway, you know, did I do well in shop class? No, I did average. It did enable me to know how to operate all the things that would be in a wood shop, so that was a plus. I was a little afraid of a table saw when I first started operating one, but I'm okay with it. These are actually skills you would use to save you money. Yeah, you could buy a shoe rack and it might last you a year or two. This is going to last a little bit longer than that because Germans make things to last. So here we have it. It's sturdy. Now with this, it's already cracked on one side, kind of cracked here. I could have gone an inch further, so I could do two things. I could cut this out, but I kind of want it wedged and staying in place because when somebody throws a boot on there, I don't want it moving. I could cut out the bottom, which I may do because the other one that I have is not broke. But I'll do that. And basically, it's a 1x2, which is 1.5. I'll cut 3/4 inch out, just enough for it to fit. And then I'm going to clear coat it with some, matte clear. It's what I got laying around. So multiple projects happening, but I'm very, very happy with it. I'm impressed. So this, I just used a brad nailer and tack that side down. It's really very close to what I imagined. Other than, I thought I was going to be able to use, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch pieces here. But I'm glad I found these because, my boots will fit on every thing. And then the wet ones can go underneath there. So then wet and then dry. And then I have a room up here to throw my gloves and hat and anything else. It'll clear the area that I already have, kind of clean it up a bit, because I'm going to make another one of these, probably half its size, later on. But it's going to be just a little bit lower, probably this tier. And then I will probably make it 30 inches with the 1x2s that I used. But overall, I am very happy with it. I feel really good when I procrastinate so long on something that I finally just break down and get it done. And I've always been a procrastinator. It's one of my sins, it's just something I do and something I want to work on. But we're finished with this project. Like I said, I wanted to get all these things done before next week. Monday I go in under the knife again, and I will be probably not being able to lift anything for more than 10 pounds for 4 weeks. I used to laugh at that, doctor's order, but then they told me I could get a hernia or rip my stitches or staples. And I don't want to have to, I can't take care of the hernia myself, but I can patch up myself. But I don't want that to happen because, risk of infection and all that good stuff. So listen to your doctors. Take care of your colon, man. And I thought I was taking care of my colon, but I was still eating bad stuff. Your body is your temple, as the Bible says. And I didn't follow the Bible for 40 some years of my life. And now that I am, I'm trying to take care of everything that I had bad habits from, being out in the world. Because the Bible, it's the book of life. It tells you exactly how to act, how to eat, how to do everything, It's you go, if you listen to anything this year, go through Proverbs and Psalms. You could do 5 Psalms a day with 1 proverb, and you could get through with it in a month. And listen to it 2 or 3 times. It'll change your life. It'll teach you how to be a better person. Anyway, learn skills like this. You saw all I really needed was this drill. I just used the impact because it was handy. So drills aren't that much. The last drill I bought was like a 12-volt Black & Decker. It cost me like $54. But they're pretty expensive. Anyway, total cost on this, because I've already had this, not including this, was this, the wood, $42. Not bad when I could have bought one and not had fun with it for $40. I mean, I might have had fun putting it together, then find out, it's hit or miss whether it's going to be a piece of crap. This is not a piece of crap. This is going to withstand for a lot of years. And I'm happy about that. Anyway, God bless you. Stock up on food, water, ammo, gasoline. I mean, summer's coming. Buy an extra gasoline can a month. Add that to your daily or your weekly shopping list. But if you're going to keep gasoline for more than 3 to 6 months, make sure you put an additive in it. It's called a fuel saver. It will keep your gasoline a little bit longer. Like I said, I rotate mine out. I haven't done a generator test for a while. This issue that I had at the beginning of the year really threw me off. I'm behind on all my projects. I was hoping to have a ballistic vest by the end of the winter, but that didn't happen. But hopefully I can get this stuff to at least do a helmet, take it out in the field and shoot it, to see how this is going to fare. Because I want to have a ballistic, or I have 2 ballistic vests right now, but I want them rated for a little higher. But I want to see what I can do to make one. So anyway, take care. God bless you. I hope I see you guys next week. I'm about a week behind posting videos anyway. So take care. God bless you, and I'll catch you all on the flip side.